Hi everyone, welcome back, welcome to another Onkruid video. This time, while walking around, so, as you know, something serious, something cool, something maybe lighthearted, maybe heavy-hitting, feeling down, talk to a virtual human. Talking with a virtual human might reduce negative emotions. That's the title I spotted on PsyPost, and that's the title that really caught my attention. By Emily Mani, I'm not sure, sorry, on the 1st of October, so the start of this month. And it was based on scientific research by Lisanne S. Pau and her colleagues. These articles on PsyPost and most of the articles I cover on this channel are like already summaries of different scientific articles. So I'm making a summary of a summary. Kinda meta. We of course all know that robots can replace humans in multiple situations. Think Charlie's grandpa in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, where he used to be able to screw on those little lids on the toothpaste tubes, and then he was replaced by a robot as well. AI and robots are coming for us. The uprising is not far away. Is it also possible that my job, the job of a clinical psychologist, could be replaced by a robot or by sentient AI or something like that? And that's exactly what the study we are talking about today is about. A study published in Computers in Human Behaviors, that's the name of the magazine it was published in, and that reports feelings of closeness and feelings of support that participants experience towards a virtual human. And again, as I stated in the previous video of this guide, as you all know, we humans are a social species. We need each other to survive in multiple different facets of our life. As I talked about in the previous video, we needed to share information, but when life gets tough, we also need each other to keep going. We need to lean on each other. We need that social and emotional support that you can kind of take in from others around you. When I had a hard time studying for my exams 2 years ago, I just went downstairs immediately and tried to talk to my parents a little bit, tried to alleviate my stress like that, just immediately looking for the social component of emotional support. You could also give it to yourself by looking at the situation a bit differently, but most of the time we lean on the social side of things a bit more. When my YouTube videos that I work so hard on only get 3 views, I immediately plan in a coffee date with some real life friends to make sure that at least someone still wants to listen to me when I talk. I've been using the sad violin a lot lately. Well, Pau et al., the researcher that published the original scientific research, had 115 participants in California in the United States talk to a virtual human. They were participants with either feelings of anger or worry induced by having them talk about one of the situations that elicited those emotions in the past in their life, and they had to talk about that to a virtual human. I assumed on first glance that this virtual human would be a kind of AI chatbot, like something that has existed for a while already, like Eve, I think is one of them if I'm not mistaken. But no, the answer was a bit more lackluster. I'll of course show you a picture on the screen right now of what it actually looked like, but it's more of a kind of a hologram thing. It's more of a VTuber kind of virtual human, you know? There's an avatar on the screen that's moving and talking, but in reality it was still controlled by a human caregiver. I wouldn't be so surprised if the author of this study actually got her inspiration from The Wizard of Oz, where it's also just a person still in control, maybe behind a curtain or in another room. The virtual human they were talking to, that was presented to them on a screen in front of them, was called Julie. After speaking with that hologram-esque caregiver, participants actually reported less anger or worry, and an improvement in mood also. And interestingly, 34 to 40% of the participants, depending on the condition, but that difference was not significant, agreed to keep talking to Julie, to the online avatar, to the virtual human, even when they didn't have to anymore. They manipulated this in a way where they told you like, hey, the study organizer still has to put some things in order for your payment, it's gonna be some administration, it's gonna be a little while. Do you want to talk some more to Julie? And they were like, yeah, sure. 34 to 40% was like, yeah, okay. This indicates that quite a bunch of the participants were actually quite fond of this computerized listener, right? Because when they were free to go or free to go into the waiting room or chill on their phone, no, they wanted to talk to Julie a bit more. Now, can virtual humans replace actual humans in this part of our life, in this part of psychological help, mental health, caretaking? No, I don't think so. And the authors don't really think so either. I can imagine that in some cases it might be handy though. It can lower some boundaries, talking to a digital avatar on a screen instead of talking to a real human, where a real human has all these little wrinkles in her face and those micro expressions when you say something disturbing. For example, they can tell you like, hey, I am accepting. I am a client-centered therapist and I am accepting to everything you bring. I'm just being real with you. I don't mind that you talk about those things about me, but in their face you can sometimes see even the slightest little twitch and you know, like, ooh, I said something touchy there. Whereas a digital avatar can of course be made a lot more smooth and a lot less reactive to what is being said. So it can lower the boundary. It can really let people talk about whatever they want because they are not afraid anymore of the little reaction they observe in their conversational partner. Now, interestingly, the actual authors of the study are hyping up the possible benefits of a system like this for lonely people. People that don't have any family or friends around them to provide the social support, so that they can still get it from some source, and in this case then Julie, a virtual human. Interesting food for thought, of course, that idea, but I feel like replacing real human emotional support with something like this, something robotic, something cold, something in a machine, leans closely to some dystopian futures some sci-fi authors might be writing about. Still though, you miss all the shots you don't take, and that's why I love articles about cool new ideas like this. Of course, AI in healthcare is a topic I touched upon in one of my previous videos, and I think that has great benefits. So if they, and great potential, and if they could develop something like this in an AI form, where it doesn't have to be controlled by an actual other human anymore, I think it could be very useful, especially for people in waiting list conditions, because we know that the waiting lists for mental health care here in Belgium at least are long. They are long. Imagine those scenes in movies or series when they roll out a piece of parchment that's written upon and you like all the way across the road, across the galaxy, and providing some AI support, so non-human controlled, that they can just rely on when things get really tough while they're still waiting for a real human caregiver. That might be beneficial, might be cool, might be a cool new idea. And I think that's a more realistic form of looking at innovations like this than having it an option for lonely people that can't access real human care. Because I think that's a bit stigmatizing as well. Like, we know that there's nobody that wants to listen to you. We don't even want to listen to you, but here's a virtual human, here's a robot, maybe she wants to listen to you. That's a little weird. Still though, very interesting study, very interesting food for thought, and very interesting developments in the field of psychology and mental health care. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.